So I just spent 6 days with Craig Jones in Windang, New South Wales. He invited me over to be a part of the Alexander Volkanovski Champ Camp. This was 6 days of torture and torment. He did show me some pretty cool jiu-jitsu moves, and it was very cool to be a part of the Champ Camp and be in that room at Freestyle MMA. It was an experience once in a lifetime, and I'm very thankful for it. But the mental trauma that I have endured from spending that amount of time with my little brother has really taken its toll. I hope you guys enjoy this episode of A Quick Razz.
It's gonna be alright, Daddy. Uncle Craig isn't here anymore.
All right, guys. We're in a dark public car park up in the hood of Windang, and we have him. He's just come out of a public bathroom, a little sweaty and messed up. How have you been finding this beautiful town?
Beautiful. It's not fucking beautiful at all. There's nothing happening here. If any city closes everything at 5 p.m., it shouldn't be on Google Maps.
That's true.
Every city around the world you travel to, people are like, come out, check it out. There's always like, there's something to do. There's a selling point. Like if you were like, come down to Windang, the only selling point is shortening Volkanovski's coach's life basically, by getting him just fucking into the piss or something. But unfortunately, with the family he has here, we don't get the fully evolved Joe Lopez that's out there harassing any woman with a pulse, of which he does in any other city. Here, he holds himself accountable. He's a family man within this fucking this zip code, this area code. He has a reputation to uphold, even a terrible one. So, I mean, like, we don't even have the appeal of a cheap theme park that is Joe Lopez's brain down here.
He's even on a bike cycling. It's like he's doing cardio every morning. Or is that just because he's so cheap he doesn't want to pay for fuel?
That'd be it too. And if you notice the form and structure of Joe Lopez's body, it is very unique. Some might say he looks somewhat of an alien. But given how his son looks, you know for sure he's the father of that son, because they both have a unique thing about their biology, and that is that every square inch of the sole of their foot remains on the ground at all times, even when jumping.
They don't look like... There's no fast runners in Joe Lopez's family history, that's for sure.
The only time Joe Lopez moves quick is when the bill arrives. That's for damn sure. Joe Lopez, he's happy for, if it's his shout, for a $1 fucking servo gas station coffee, even if you've just bought him a lovely $3.50 flat white. But then out of nowhere, bang, he owns half this city. Village fits better. He owns half the village. He's just popped out a $3.7 million purchase of a building down here, and it's the Portuguese club, and he actually made the news for it. And just an insight into Joe Lopez, the minimum bid was $3.7 billion dollars, and they were really seeking someone to put like maybe another $100 on top of that. Joe Lopez put $1 down. And when he put the $1 down, the auctioneer was laughing about it, and they were kind of having a bit of a discussion with it, like, fuck, he's right. We only need $1 more. And the auctioneer is like, all right, once, twice, 3 times gone, and the guy even gave Joe the $1 personally. And the type of guy Joe Lopez is that when someone offers him $1, whether it's a joke or not, he takes the fucking dollar. He keeps that $1.
I was quite surprised. For all the stories I've heard about the man being the tightest man alive, he actually gave me a free rashi and a T-shirt that is too small, but I thought I'd wear it out of respect for the old fella.
What's the tightest thing you've ever seen Joe Lopez do?
I mean, you couldn't pinpoint one thing. It's just like following around for a day, you'll see the ingenuity of the man. You know, like he gets it done, and by get it done, I mean he pays nothing, or he just finds a way. You know, it's honestly, Frank Hickman and him have a strong rivalry for who has misplaced their wallet the most amount of times. You know, but it's just part of the camp. You know, Adams come in here, final week of fight camp. Final week of fight camp in Wollongong, and everyone has a lot of illusions, a lot of fantasies about being a part of the fight camp and like what it is, what it means, how fun it is. But like we do our best to have a good time, but it is a fucking very serious time. It is quite a scary time. Like that's one of your friends. Like Volk's only one of my friends. I feel about him the same way most fans do. He's one of the good guys. You want good guys to win. You want the good guys to do well in life. So it's like he is every bit the human being you imagine him to be when you see him on TV as he is in real life. He's such a good person that it makes you feel bad in yourself about who you are. And obviously for me, that doesn't take much to meet a person that makes me feel bad about myself. But like, yeah, I feel quite a bit of emotional stress leading into Volkanovski's fights, just given what a lovely human being he is, like caring, like even I bring Adam up here, he's fucking very considerate, caring about making sure Adam's included, like make sure he has a good time as best you can. Obviously you dragged him into the depths of hell in Windang, but you do your best to scrape the barrel with activities up here. But yeah, that's for me one of the most stressful times of the year. Obviously you would have a tighter relationship with some of the grapplers I have trained in the past, but again, it's not. They're not facing serious injury. They're not like I don't have to watch them lie unconscious like I have seen Volkanovski do before. It's fucking quite traumatic. So I really do not like this experience, and it probably adds to the stress of me being in Windang, where I'm at wit's end. I arrive in Windang, jet lagged. I live in a constant state of jet lag, but at least when you stay in a big city and shit, you wake up at 2 a.m. There's something to do, whether those activities you're allowed to say on the podcast or not. There are things to do in Windang. There is not. Nothing opens till 7 a.m. and the entire city shuts down at 5 p.m. So all in all, Guantanamo Bay would have had a better fuck. Guantanamo Bay was a bay. It had the beach as well. That's basically what Windang is. Fucking just Guantanamo Bay, you know?
Just a little less waterboarding here.
Yeah. But Adam's been seeing me just fucking lose my mind, rage out here. Tried to get a massage. Didn't even want to fucking rub and tug or happy ending. Just wanted a massage because my neck's sore from all the traveling and driving. Google Maps, we find a place. It says it's open till 9 p.m. Show up at 7 p.m. Not open. That, if I was a dictator, that right there, your entire fucking city's bombs. Gone. Off the grid for that. You can't make those mistakes.
And then I had to give him the massage because the massage parlor was closed, and it's quite confronting when your own brother rolls over and pulls the towel down. So,
and you take a look at a hug that makes you question whether you have the same dad, you know?
Right. So
we got sidetracked.
We did. One of the questions was, who's got the bigger dick? And, I've got a few inches on you, mate. You may have got all the jiu-jitsu talent.
Yeah, but this is one of those case situations, right, where it's like women look at you and you would feel the same pressure that a black guy feels. You know what I mean? Like, black guys have a reputation that precedes them. 6'8" guys have a reputation that precedes them. The expectations are that high, you can only under-deliver. Like, imagine being a black guy with a small dick.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking torturous. And a woman looks at you, 6'8", when you pull out an average-sized penis, it's going to look fucking tiny on you, mate. So it's like, you got big shoes to fill that you physically can't fill.
That's true. That's a good way of looking at it, actually. Yeah.
Well, life's about lowering women's expectations, not building them up.
Oh. Now, you mentioned some grapplers before. I'm sure you've come across some grapplers that you would love to lay unconscious, whether that be a punch or a choke. How irritating are dealing with some of these grapplers? I was going to say athletes, but finding a grappler that's actually an athlete is fucking almost as easy as finding a good time in Windang.
It's true. I mean, some of them try to be athletes. You know, some of them take it pretty seriously. Like, I've given it a crack to become a real athlete at some points in my career, but I found a negative correlation with success. Where the less seriously I took it, the better I performed. So how frustrating? I mean, fuck, it's pretty frustrating. It was more frustrating leading into CJI. I was a man with someone else's money and zero leverage and a personal vendetta that could last the test of time. Going into CJI2, I have more leverage, right? So it's like, I don't have anything to sell. It's like fucking, they're difficult to deal with, but I don't give a fuck. It's like, we've built a brand that is so strong that people are going to tune in no matter what. It's like, get on board or get the fuck out the way. And basically we're trying to approach, like when we're battling rival organizations and shit, and I don't mean anyone in specific here, is that what we're trying to do is be the Super Bowl of grappling. And the Super Bowl in a sense that we don't run the NFL during the year. We just have a Super Bowl level event. It would be like a K1 Dynamite. We're trying to capture the glory days of when like K1 and Pride would put on a joint show, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're like MMA. People think they know this. MMA peaked in Japan. No, MMA peaked in Japan. 99,000 people in an arena for Bob Sapp versus Nogueira. Like, the spectacle, the show they put on, the creativity of the production, they pushed the limits. They pushed the limits, and the president was found hung in a closet, but that's beside the point. They reached the highest of heights. I mean, who knows? That might be how I go out too, pushing the limits, you know. But
the old Michael Hutchins.
Yeah, we're trying to create the spectacle. We're trying to create a spectacle with this next one. The first one was about disrupting the industry, which we did so effectively. Fucking people lost jobs, like companies lost millions and millions of dollars.
People got threatened to be killed.
Yeah, I do have a lot of death threats, unfortunately. But for the next one, we're more about bringing everyone together. So we want to work with all the organizations. We want to work with all the athletes. We want to mend bridges. Obviously, me and Danaher have mended that bridge. We want everyone to come together for this event. The first one was about proving a point, and that was that we deserve fair compensation. That amount of money was a gift. It was a gift, and no one's more generous than when you're spending someone else's money. But now when it comes to CJI2, the money's a loan. Now we want to prove that we can put on an event that's not just, it doesn't just break even, but it's profitable. And we want the excitement around the event. I think Meta Morris did a good job of capturing the excitement. They just had a Ethan Krellenstein style accountant there, I think, you know? But we're trying to make sure that CJI2 brings everyone together. And again, bring it back to the question of like dealing with athletes. It's like, I mean, it's easier for me now. Once you start something good, everyone wants to be your best mate, you know? You only see the best side of people, you know? You don't realize that they're fucking child abusing, woman beating, fucking rapists until that breaks in the media. But when they're dealing with me, I only really see the best sides of people, fortunately. And me and Seth Belial. It's unfortunate. Me and Seth Daniels have mended our bridge, but it was unfortunate. Like, that was one funny thing about dealing with the athletes. I open a lot of the doors and create a lot of the connections, and Seth closes the deals. My business partner is Seth Belial, and that was the case with athletes too, where I'd start the conversation. Seth would send them the contract, but I'd be like, send your information to this email, and it'd be like Seth at B Team or Seth at Fair Fight Foundation, and they'd be like, wait a minute, is this Seth Daniels? Because I'm talking to him with ADCC. So it was like, it's just unfortunate that Mo had an event and his co-organizer was a Seth, and I had an event. I was like, fuck you, I got my own Seth.
Well, they're both of them look like they use a lot of black hair dye to stay looking young. One's just giant with juice, and the other one's a little bit shorter with less tats.
I've taken a lot of Seth's hair, honestly. Seth, and I've put Seth in a lot of moments like where his hairline's been revealed, you know. Me personally, Turkey keeps calling. Literally keeps calling. I'll be getting ready for a night out, and I'll get a message from a Turkish hair clinic about heading over there to get hair, and I'll be like, motherfuckers, like, I'm having a few drinks, fucking snorting a few nose Burberinos, trying to get some confidence here, and you fucking shatter me with you're offering me some treatment I need. But honestly, it's a great, like, I'm all for the hair transplant, you know what I mean? Like,
just get your head tattooed, mate. What are you talking about?
I enjoy not getting cavity searches when I enter new countries, you know, but that's the plan. Last time we indulged in every vice known to man in Colombia after CJI. Mm-hmm. This time I'm going to Turkey to get a hair transplant. Obviously Turkey's a bit unstable right now, but as you can see, so my hair follicles. So we're going to endeavor, we're going to persevere. Fisher got it done. Fisher looks fucking incredible. And one message I'm going to send out now to the ladies that don't reply to my DMs. If you ain't replying now, don't you dare reply when I've got a fucking luscious, beautiful, thick set of hair. Now, still reply, I'll still do it.
Colombia. Everybody wants to know about Colombia. Now, obviously, there's going to be some names that you can't say, so maybe you could...
all of them.
Well, yeah, like... Tell us a little bit about Colombia.
I'll say one name that wasn't allowed to go.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no, dude. If I had gone to Colombia after Vegas, I would well and truly have died. But we had some FaceTime calls. I know there was one where you were walking around with a gun and a giant bag of what I can only imagine was to bake bread. The
Sinaloa sinus sauce. Bolivian blow darts. Yeah, Colombia is, I would say, fetishized in degenerate culture because of Pablo Escobar. And we had this trip planned. Cartagena is a spot that you can really like, a lot of like guys who have bachelor parties there. I wouldn't recommend it if you actually want your wedding to last, you know? Like, I would not fucking recommend it. But yeah, we celebrated. We had our after party in Vegas, but really... It was not the real after party, you know, like say, I mean, they started the after party without me basically. By the time I got to the after party in Vegas, all the alcohol had been drunk, but we were late, but we still had work to do. Seth was still, he was writing out the checks because obviously like we keep me with the financial documents in case anything happens. But I waited for Seth at the house, you know, like I was trying to send everyone to the after party. Like I remember... I wasn't going to go to the after party. Seth was like saying, go. And I'm like, no. Like, we did it together. I'll wait for you. So I waited for Seth. We didn't get there till like the after party till like 11:30. I fucking had a big night. But we kind of just wanted a moment afterwards to just be like, fucking, it's more relief than satisfaction, you know, that we pulled it off. And so everyone thought the after party was in Vegas. For us, it really wasn't. We went to Colombia afterwards. And all I can say, I can't really say too much. But like if your dad caught you smoking a packet of cigarettes and he just made you smoke the whole packet, and that was like a 5-day bender. Like not all the boys were there the whole time. Joe Lopez was, but like just imagine an unlimited supply of whatever you wanted, unlimited budget, and we had security. Because I will warn you, Colombia can be pretty heavy. We mostly partied in the house. We went out 2 nights near the end of the week. Like I think it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the house. We're waking up with IVs. We had whatever we wanted, massages. We had our own bar within the fucking premises. Like we had DJs come. Like if it could be bought, it was available at this residence, and it was 5 days straight of this. And then when we went to the clubs are fun in Cartagena, but like obviously. The premium had been paid, so like even when we went to the club, we had like our own entire section and stuff. Like it was just like it was a great way to celebrate what we were able to pull off within that 4 to 5 month period. I remember like obviously there were some girls at the house and stuff. Like I won't say there wasn't, and I won't say they were dressed in regular clothing. But the funniest fucking story about the whole thing was like we're at the club. Like I don't want this to come across is like bad towards women. This is just a funny story. Like, we ran into 3 girls on a bachelorette party. Again, like, I'm not sure about the hopes of their fucking future marriage, but they were like probably late 30s, early 40s, and I got to talking to them because they were from, right? And obviously we knew the debauchery that was at our house. Like, that thing was a fucking Scarface looking crime scene in the house, right? And then when it came time to leave the club, I was like to these girls were like, what are you doing? We're going to go to a different bar. I was like, oh, come back to ours, right? And these like were just seemed like regular girls on a bachelorette party, and they heard Cartagena was a good time. I walked them back into the fucking lion's den. They were like, what the fuck's happening in here? And it was just, that was my favorite. Sometimes you like to bring in an outsider to have a look at what's happening in your life to give you a good perspective on, fucking, we better tone it down a bit. I remember we even met 2 Caribbean girls, two beautiful Caribbean girls that worked at a restaurant there, and we were like, yo, come back to the house with us and have a few drinks. And I remember they showed up and they were like, and they live there. They know this shit goes on. They were like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm pretty sure the after party alone would have cost like over $200,000 for the week. Like, it's just, those experiences are mind-boggling. It's like, definitely takes years off your life, but fuck.
What was the recovery like?
Honestly, recovery for me was, I had a bit of the blues because we were all sort of in the Philippines after that. But like, to me, if you party without someone to celebrate, you will get a come down. You will feel bad. But if you're partying for a celebratory purpose, like for me, I felt like what we had just accomplished, nothing was bringing my dopamine levels down. You know, like we were flying high. And also like some of the boys hit it so hard. Like some of the boys didn't sleep for days. I sleep every day. I'm sleeping or I'm Heath Ledgering, but I will get the fuck to sleep. I need to sleep. I ain't about this 2-3 day bender shit going full goblin mode. But when we got back to the next destination, I won't say where, but when we left Colombia, a few of the boys did shed some tears, and I remember just thinking, that's hilarious. That's actually brought me up. You know, like I remember looking around.
Seeing Mitchie in tears would make anybody happy.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch cries all the time. It wasn't even Mitch. It's like when Mitch cries, it's like fucking water under the bridge. You know, it's like, oh fuck, he's crying again, eh? But one of the boys started crying, and I just looked at it. I was just like, how can I be depressed when this gay fuck's crying in front of me? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I felt better about myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, little bitch, let's get back on it.
We grew up together, and people always ask me what happened in our childhood for us to be so mean and nasty to our friends. Now, we had a trauma-free childhood, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you think causes you to be so mean? I know I'm mean to people because you're mean to me. What happened?
It's not out of the ordinary. It's just regular old banter. But it's like I'm competitive. Like I pretend to not be competitive in jiu-jitsu, but I'm not. No one's I ain't losing a battle of banter. We ain't losing a battle of wits, especially. And like I think when I moved to America and realized that like although they have the best comedians in the world, the baseline level of banter. Like I always describe banter as 2 boys going back and forth, and whoever gets offended first, it's whoever gets offended first. Because if you get offended, you say something mean. You know what I mean? Like you might be joking around with your girlfriend, and then she brings up your hairline, and you're like, "Whoa, relax." Yep. You know, it's like I describe America as Father from Super Troopers. Like everyone's having a good time, making a little light. Like this is how I describe Gordon as well. Don't put this in a reel because we're trying to keep this friendly. But like I always describe Gordon as that. Like the boys are all like having a lighthearted joke. For Super Troopers, they're a bunch of
great fucking
cops.
Movie.
They're a bunch of cops, road cops, and they would fuck with the people they pull over. And then Father's trying to get accepted into the group, and he's like, well, I'll go out there and say fuck you right to their face. And everyone's like, whoa, relax, you lost. That's how I describe banter. We're all having a good time. As soon as someone says some real shit, you've got them. That's a victory, which is sad, but also it trains you to never show your hands. You can never show your hands. Like
the people I like the most are the ones that I pick on the most.
Yeah, and you got to appreciate it. I appreciate the shit out of it when someone hits me with some real shit. You know, like they hit me with something funny. You know, and they cut me to my core. Sometimes, like you hit I couldn't think of an example right now, but like I'll see a YouTube comment about me or something. I'm just like fucking nailed it. And like America is the place of like Navy SEAL podcasts and shit. And like when you see people shit on people that take themselves too seriously, it's a thing of beauty. Australia has tall poppy syndrome, which I think is needed in society as long as it's humorous, you know? Tear people down in a funny way. That's good. If someone stands out too much, you know, like but only if they take themselves too seriously. Like clearly I don't take myself serious at all, nor do I think anyone involved in my sport should take themselves too seriously, you know? Like the Jiu-Jitsu Saved My Life crowd, like, I'm in America right now with politics and shit, just needs to be torn down for our entertainment purposes. So the banter is a skill, and you hone your skill like you do in jiu-jitsu by beating up on people that are like blue belt level.
That's the best.
You practice techniques, so you practice your banter on Americans. Americans are like blue belt level banter, so you just fucking you turn into a samurai over there.
And then you go on Joe Rogan and pop some jokes that go over his head.
It's true. Many things do go over his head. He's 5'3", but
out of all the boys at B Team, I think I could narrow it down to a few. Do you enjoy tormenting Ethan, Nicky Ryan, Damien, or maybe one of the other guys we might not know about so much? Who do you enjoy picking on the most?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm doing it for the love of the game. I do enjoy it all equally, you know, but like I do truly enjoy picking on Damien, right? And the reason is, and this follows on from what I was talking about previous, is he had the audacity to put up a motivational Michael Chandler quote. That boggles the mind. You know what I mean? Like, what's Michael Chandler in the UFC? 2-6 or something?
Yeah.
It's like Chandler's could have won every fight he's ever been in, and he's only lost those fights due to his bad decision making. And I think some of that bad decision making is due to how inspired and motivational he feels to take such huge, reckless risks in the fight. And then I look at his behavior in the country music festival, and it's like that. Like, you know what I mean? He's a bit too, that sort of behavior, you making up motivational quotes for yourself, you're dancing in country music festival videos, you know, that's ripe for the picking. And also like Damien he used to listen to Ben Shapiro and stuff like that. So it's like, and he'd listen to it seriously. Like most of us listen to it because it's like, oh, the guy kind of sounds like Gordon.
Yeah.
Damien I do like to attack politically. Like if we're going to have political battles and shit, like he's growing up a bit, I'll say. Not height-wise, but intellectually. But yeah, the other guys are a bit easy. Nicky Ryan, I love picking on him, like picking on like a little brother. But most of the time I'm picking on people, it is like there is an agenda to it. It's like it's out of love. You know, like it's like even Gordon, like some of the shit he posts online, I really think to myself, fuck, I hope this cunt's not seriously posting this shit. Like fucking, I try to tear him down a little bit just to put things in perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's the best grappler ever, but like if that's the life it gives you, like brother, have you tried having a friend? You know what I mean? Like do you need a hug? Like that's honestly the feelings I feel towards him. It's like I kind of want the best for him, and if I have to make fun of him to do it, I'll do it, you know? And like, honestly, like, it was funny even reconnecting with Danaher and stuff. Like, me and Danaher got along so well in the gym, because culturally, Danaher is a Kiwi, and like, part of the reason he loves when Aussies and stuff visit is like on a comedic banter sort of shit. He loves that. He gets involved in that. But like before I was there, he's over there swinging air balls. You know, no one's fucking. You know, it's like no one's picking up what he's putting down. But then like that's how me and John would relate. So I think like it was good to reconnect and reminisce about some of those things. I haven't really spoken about the meeting. The meeting was basically him being like, "You took things too far," and I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Yeah, of course. I fuck around a bit,
John.
You know?
It's me.
Yeah, I'm like, John, I'd take things too far in the gym too. But yeah, I mean, we talked it out. Obviously, we will always have our differences of opinion, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, that bridge is mended. I mean, I even like you saw me message him yesterday about something came up, and like the chat immediately goes back to joking around. Like,
I was surprised that he throws a few emojis in messages.
He's like the Signal group chat, mate. We all throw emojis around.
Yeah. Did he have his nice rashy on?
I think he had a rashy and something over the top because it was a bit cold. But yeah, it was good to see Danaher again. And I do truly think, well, we've texted previous to the meeting, and he would respond in such a cordial way. I remember the first message I sent to him to sort of open up for his team to be doing the event was like, "Hey mate, feel free to tell me to go fuck myself, and I probably deserve it." And they were like, there was no banter back. It was just like quite a cordial response, as if it was like, he's like, "I better respond in a way that because Craig might post this on the internet." You know what I mean? Like, so. But then once we had the meeting and shit, and now we talk to each other. It's like, fuck, it is what it is. Now it's like water under the bridge onto the new one. Do I think me and Gordon could ever hit that point? I think it's possible for sure. I think I care much less. I still don't think he's great. I'm still sick of his Fox News political memes, but I'd be for sure willing to look past that. It'd be up to him though, because I've said much more heinous things about him than he said about me.
Well, you were talking before about possible ideas for an El Segundo return, right? And I won't throw that out there, but what would be cool would be if you guys sat down with maybe a couples counselor and just aired it all out and had that filmed.
Yeah, I mean, to get him anywhere near a camera with me would require a lot of relationship, relationship building before then. But yeah, I mean, do I think he's going to come to CJI and watch and support his fucking team? Hell yeah. Do I think he's going to fucking enjoy the show? Yeah. Do I care that there's a chance that New Wave will win and he will shit on our event, me as a human being? Do I care? No. I'm fucking like, I'm a vindictive motherfucker, but like if it's for the greater good of the sport, hell yeah. Like fucking Gordon would do that to any event, and he would take great delight in doing it to our event. You know, like we never officially invited him to the first event. We never really officially invited many people to the first event. People came to us, so I would have let him.
I got invited.
I would have let him. We would have let him compete, but it'd be tough. Tough. Maybe in a few years. Who knows? I don't know what he's doing. He seems like he's running for office these days.
Now we'll go serious path here because it's quite a sad thing I've been seeing online.
Pictures of yourself?
Gabi Garcia says you are divorced. What's the story there, mate? I really have taken to her as like a big sister to me.
What are those trees that Japanese guys, the miniature trees?
Little bonsai.
Yeah. Gabi Garcia, despite her appearance, a relationship with her is like a bonsai tree. It requires an incredible amount of work. It requires an army of men. Like, bro, we need a fucking Russian bot group reply to her messages, eh? Because I'll tell you one thing, if you know Gabi Garcia, she doesn't just send one message. She'll send 25 unanswered, you know? And then if you're at all busy and stuff, like, sometimes she interprets that as like, I don't know, you have other things to do, you know, that don't prioritize her. But me and Gabi, super tight, super good friends, you know? we had a slight.
Did you say Gabby's super tight?
Super tight, yep. They all laugh at me, man. Yeah, no, I saw Gabby in LA. People don't realize because of what I post online that like how fucking busy I am, and half that busyness is just me being fucking on the phone. Like I'm telling you, CJI2 was organized on my phone with Note, using the Note app. That's how we fucking plan this whole thing out. And I was on the phone sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day. So like even now I'm fucking making calls nonstop. Like, we're fucking. There's a lot of work to be done even this early, right? So, like, for Gabi, I think sometimes doesn't appreciate how busy I am. I know Gabi's busy as well, but, like, I was in LA, I only saw her one time, so I've only seen her once since CJI. I know she was pissed because I was in Brazil and she wasn't there, but she wanted to come to Brazil, but I make plans at a moment's notice, you know? It's also a problem we have sometimes getting shit films, because it's like, I'll be like, yo, tomorrow we're going to Afghanistan, you know? You never know what's going to happen. So I saw Gabi in LA. She came to the StreetX clothing launch, of which Bradshaw fucked up because there was no clothing at the launch. It was only online.
Oh, Bradshaw fucked up.
Listen, I'll take any excuse to blame it on Trump. So maybe it was the tariffs holding up customs. I don't know, you know?
Well, you know, if you talk to Bradshaw, he never makes any mistakes, you know? He was quite quick to destroy me. He calls me Mr. Business. And that's because I fucking gave him the business when we trained. But, man, you talk about Gabi Garcia, an impressive specimen, and then you talk about Bradshaw, possibly one of the worst physiques. There's no athleticism there. He's trying everything he can with that hair. Like, it's just, he's a good butt of the joke every time.
He's a good butt of the joke, and he also does not have a butt. His butt is inverse. It's gone. He has a lack of glutes. He has the smallest legs on earth, but he has managed to defeat Seth in a super fight, Freddie in a super fight. I made Freddie and him fight. Like, we're in Vegas after the Fight Pass Invitational, and we weren't really feeling it in the club, so we went back to my hotel room in Encore. I'm saying that just because it's a fucking nice hotel room, and we're in Encore, and they had a fight to the death on my living room floor. It was like 10 minutes long. Bradshaw wins by gassing Freddie out and then dancing him and immediately pulling his dick out. But Freddie was trying so hard. Freddie talked so much shit before. Freddie's heart rate was already a little too elevated going into the match, I'd say. He'd been warm for fucking 4 hours. He almost had a heart attack, bro. I had to kick him out of the room. And then I woke up the next day and there was like, Bradshaw tried to win so bad that his knees had split open and there was blood all over my floor. And I was just like, oh my God. Encore didn't even charge me for that, I think.
Blood in a hotel room in Vegas is probably not uncommon.
Yeah, usually it's from the nostrils, but this time it was from the knees. I mean, actually, probably to be fair, there's probably a few Vegas hotel rooms with blood from the knees. Hard-working women in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, Bradshaw, I'll give him credit. He has defeated everyone. He did duck Anthony. He keeps fighting my employees and then pretending that I've promoted my employees. But honestly, had Freddie won, maybe I would have given him the black belt. But now we put another 5 years on that shit. You got to hold on to the black belt. You know, you give a guy like Freddie his black belt, he feels fucking validated, reassured. He'll go somewhere else and start doing something real with his life, get a real job. You know. So we'll hold that in front of him. Yeah, Bradshaw is the master of StreetX.
He's got to be a master of saying.
Yeah, well, he's the master of StreetX. He's doing all the merch for the next event. Our first event, everything sold out so fast. Some might say it's his design skills. Most would say it's my modeling ability, but we come to an agreement on that, you know?
Yeah.
Give him credit where it's due. But he's designing all the team kits. So, like, that's something that Jiu-Jitsu lacks is good-looking gear. You know what I mean? It's good-looking clothing. Like
there's good-looking people on gear, but good-looking gear. Yeah, that's true. It's
like Jiu-Jitsu is a hard sport to make cool. So, like, Bradshaw StreetX is already a cool brand in Australia, especially amongst 13-year-old boys with TN. So Bradshaw's really trying to do the impossible here. He's trying to make good-looking jiu-jitsu gear because the people that will be wearing it are socially awkward freaks for the most part, myself included. But he's trying to get these guys some culture and some style, which goes a long way in making our sport cool, because our sport is by no means, sadly, is it cool, unfortunately, which explains why 97% of my followers are men, which is fucking... Most of us jiu-jitsu athletes are plucking from the same pool, unfortunately.
There's a few shared igloos.
Yeah, you won't be first and you won't be last. But that's something we have to live with, you know?
Yeah. I remember what it was like back at Absolute with some of the issues that the managers.
Oh yeah, Giles almost fired me, eh?
Giles did almost fire you. Yeah. I love that.
For the record, it was nothing. It was nothing bad. It was not even that bad.
Yeah.
I just want to so there was no we almost got fired for that, but obviously came to a resolution. Thank God we did, because after that that was like 3 months later. I was in ADCC, but hit or miss. I learned my lesson. Obviously, the lesson being, if you're good enough, you can get away with anything. But, despite that, we never did it again.
Yeah. What else is going on in the life of Craig Jones? There's not much out here, but...
No, what else is going on? I mean, this is the time of the day I thrive, right? So it's like I'm always in a new city, jet-lagged, awake 2, 3 a.m., popping a Vyvanse, getting on the horn, making business calls. Usually start the day with a double cortados in America, double flat whites in Australia. And we just get to work. We're brainstorming. We're coming up with ideas. We're trying to push the sport forward. There are people out there that say that I'm a sellout and some of the things I do are only for money. But to be honest, I don't even know how much money I have. I manage none of my finances. I don't know where any of the money goes. I don't even make sure sponsorship money goes into my account.
I've always said you can let me control it.
This is my counter argument for people saying I'm a sellout. Most of the time I only work with products or something if I can see some good fun to be had with it. Like I think part of the longevity of my career and making a career off of not winning, because I never have, is that we can provide value through social media and videos and stuff and push the sport forward that way. That was inspired sort of by what Kit Dale was able to do earlier in his career, although he did have some pretty big wins back in the day. But that's what I try to do in terms of getting sponsorship deals and stuff, is that I want to make sure if I work with a product that I can have fun with the marketing. Inspired by Nick Mullen of Comtown, who is willing to throw it all away over one funny video. Mm-hmm. That's the sort of shit I love. I definitely wouldn't say I'm financially motivated in any of these endeavors, but for CJI2, we do have a financial focus again, because we have to prove. Like this is not the last hurrah, but like we have to prove to the world that we can make jiu-jitsu interesting and a spectator sport, because God damn it, if cricket and baseball can sell out, if football can sell out, like we can make jiu-jitsu a fun enough vibe. We can build something here that has longevity. And ultimately, I do want to get the athletes paid. I'm not looking to get rich off the sport of jiu-jitsu. I'm looking to create a league that's profitable and segue out, I want to go out like Vince McMahon before he got caught. That's what I'm looking for here, About to be busted, sell it to a big organization, move along,
Is there any little sneaky bits of information or hints that you might be able to drop out?
About the CJI? Not really. I do have an opponent we've been talking to. This thing could be announced pretty soon. This one will be a tough match. Like obviously last one, Gabi Garcia. We had to do the Gabi match to draw in fans, right? So I would say this, right? I am like the Floyd Mayweather. I've gone with the Floyd Mayweather approach. Floyd Mayweather bought out his contract. I didn't have to do that. No one had me under contract, but Floyd Mayweather bought out his contract and he basically became his own promoter. And he's one of the reasons why boxers get paid so much money. It's like, that's why he's the richest athlete, even though he's wasted it all and still not paid taxes. But he made a lot of money doing that. I will only compete for my own promotion now, basically. I've alienated every other organization, not from a streaming platform perspective, but from an athlete perspective. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of money I would demand of them.
Hang on, so you're telling me you're not going to compete on the M16 Open?
No, absolutely not. Not even against you. And then, so I'll only compete for my own promotion, which would be CJI. So that's like sort of my competitive plans right now. I'm the Floyd Mayweather of Jiu-Jitsu. I just don't make any money.
Excellent.
I've taken his business model, but removed the business part of it.
You mentioned Kit Dale before.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Gabi was a crossover match. I'm only competing in matches that will grow the sport of jiu-jitsu. So you know what I mean? Like, there's great jiu-jitsu athletes out there, but let's case in point, Pedro Mourinho beat me. Just a case in point. I love Pedro, but like, if I were to have a rematch with Pedro, sure, we'd do some numbers, but would it tangibly grow the sport of jiu-jitsu? No. I want CJI, and I want to use, because I hate preparing for matches, especially difficult matches. I only want to do matches that'll attract viewers to the sport to get eyes on the really talented athletes. And again, guys, I give credit to guys like Diego Pato. Diego Pato, to me, is one of the most fucking phenomenal guys to watch in the sport. He might not get enough media attention or attention from outside the sport. So, like, if I could give any gift, is to use some of the attention I have that I don't deserve, and sort of push that in the direction of other athletes. So, again, I'll only compete in matches that grow the sport, and that's going to be only under my promotion.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, Diego, people who know. I remember 8 years ago you were telling me about watching him, and you were watching him in the gi, I believe. And
yeah, he's brilliant. Anyone that's creative, I love creative grapplers. Like anyone that's has a game that involves some level of risks. Like Gordon is unquestionably the best grappler in the world. And I think from a historical perspective, Gary Tonin is one of the most exciting, is probably the most exciting grappler we've ever had. However, from a spectator point of view, for outside viewers, to be like Gordon and be unbeaten, to not have a blip in his record, to not have a fuck up, is really very rare in combat sports, which is what draws viewers in to him. I think he has his following in spite of his persona, not because of it. I think just his 5-6 year run, that alone is what draws in the viewers, not necessarily his personality. I don't think that's growing as much as people think. But if you're a regular guy that's going to win some, lose some, the way you create a cult following is by competing like a Gary Tonin, you know what I mean? Like a J-Rod, like a Andrew Tackett. You're going to have wins and losses, but those matches are going to be so exciting and memorable. People remember things they have a strong emotional attachment to. And when Gary fought Palhares, when Gary fought Kron Gracie, you feel strong emotions during the match. You remember the match, It's the same reason you sometimes, when you're watching a UFC fight, despite what's at stake, fucking 6 months later, you might forget those two people fought because you were like, oh, that was a pretty boring fight. Yep. Gordon's style is perfection. I would say it's perfection. It's low risk. Most people can replicate it, which is why he's the best-selling instructor. He's good at teaching, and he performs those moves in high-level competition. And he has a style most people can look at. Despite him being fucking so jacked most of the time, most people can look at it and think they can replicate it. But in terms of a viewer, spectator point of perspective, I'd rather have an organization full of Andrew Tackett versus Cade Rotolo style matches than this unstoppable champ like Gordon. Because again, if Gordon does lose, that magic vanishes. Whereas if you have an organization built on guys that are exciting to watch win or lose, like a Charles Oliveira style, the organization itself is always guaranteed to deliver entertainment. So that's sort of the yin and yang of why I think a lot of promotions have made mistakes by going all in on one athlete. They're seeing short-sighted gains in their viewership versus really building into those exciting grapplers.
Yeah, especially with you see someone who's already made it compared to how the young up-and-comers are fighting. There's always a little bit more on the line for those guys coming up. It always tends to be more exciting normally. Might be a bit more spazzy, but
you want guys that are happy to take risks, right? And I've actually had conversations with higher up people involved in combat sports who don't quite appreciate that. Like in the sport of jiu-jitsu, we make most of our money off instructionals, so a style as perfect as Gordon's, a record as perfect as Gordon's translates to sales because there's the proof in the pudding that what he's teaching works, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, say, in the UFC or something, Charles Oliveira is going to make bank because he's guaranteed to pull in viewers. Like, if Charles Oliveira goes out there, like when he lost to Islam, he didn't lose any fans. No fans gone. People love Charles Oliveira for him. But if Charles Oliveira's was built upon, if his financial stability was built upon selling instructionals, him losing to Islam would significantly hurt people's belief in his techniques. But again, he's there for entertainment. So that's one thing we have to take into account with jiu-jitsu. So that's part of the reason I like a last man standing style quintet event, right? Because losses mean less in a team environment, right? People are going to go out there and inadvertently focus on an entertainment perspective. Because say I go out there and I submit one tough guy, maybe another tough guy, and then a third guy comes out. If I've already been out for 2 matches and then he submits me, that's not as big a loss in terms of like, it's already got an inbuilt excuse. Like it's no skin off my back as if that guy and me would have a one-off super fight and I would have lose. Then that's really fucking damaging to the techniques I teach in the sport. So like, these are the challenges we're trying to overcome in the sport of jiu-jitsu. And I think no other grappling promoter quite understands as well as I do, as arrogant as that sounds, because I've had to build a career of self-promotion because I couldn't be the undefeated guy like Gordon. And I've also competed in every single organization. And I also have some sneaky access to viewership details that maybe I shouldn't have. So I can really see the results of what these promotions are trying to do. But really, I think the sport of jiu-jitsu could be much bigger if these guys focus on different things.
You always said too, and this is when I first came to Melbourne in the lead up to that ADCC 2017, you were like, I really want to make sure that I have a highlight that I can watch back later on and think is cool. You know, like a bunch of subs, because we grew up watching Stuart Cooper, the fucking man, with all those sick highlights, and you know, you wouldn't necessarily always watch full matches, but it would be the highlight reels of all the subs, maybe some big takedowns and stuff like that. So I think whenever anybody does look back at your highlights, it'll always have those sick subs that you've managed to pull out of your ass on these cunts.
Yeah, catching some, and then submitting a lot of MMA guys was a big integral part of my career. Is piggybacking off of their fame. I mean, Chael did a pretty damn good job with Submission Underground. I've been involved in all these different organizations. I've had opportunities to learn from all these people. Like I'm in quite a unique position, you know. Like I was with Kit, and it was interesting learning about how he manages his social media. He used to push a lot harder on there back in the day. He was one of the OGs for making viral clips. I obviously had Lachlan Giles, who is Autismo 2.0 when it comes to encyclopedic jiu-jitsu knowledge. And then we went to Danaher, who I would say is like, just from his experience coaching GSP during GSP's run, like I learned a lot about how he works with MMA fighters, and I saw how he translates that to working with grapplers. I've obviously did a bunch of shows with Chael Sonnen. I got to learn a lot about how he is a promoter and how he self-promotes. And even his YouTube guy gave us a lot of interesting insights. Obviously, I've met guys like Logan and Jake Paul and stuff. Like, I've had access to a lot of people, and I've always tried to steal a lot of knowledge from these people and implement that. Like, I mean, we kind of started with B-Team. When B-Team opened, we started the YouTube channel thing with like jiu-jitsu gyms. And I mean, those things really help market your athletes, right? Like just being consistent on that. I was doing the podcast. I was inconsistent with the podcast. Most of the time, it's just consistently always putting out that podcast. Your audience is going to slowly grow. But I really think we innovated. Now almost every gym tried in some capacity to have their own YouTube channel. And really, the reason we did that is we didn't want to rely on Fight Pass or Flow Grappling or anything to use their digital media guys to create hype for our team, because we felt that we're now just giving them all the control over who's famous and who's not famous in the sport of grappling. And now our YouTube has grown so much. I mean, it was not good returns at the start. We had a storyline going in because it was a new team split off from DDS, but yeah, we had to be consistent on that and be interesting, and that's how we were able to market our guys. And that's why a lot of people think, oh, the B-Team guys get so many opportunities. It's like, well, we built a marketing platform for them to get those opportunities. It's way easier for a B-Team guy to get a super fight on a show because we can say, hey, you've got 400,000 subscribers. We're going to heavily feature this guy in a YouTube video. Give him an opportunity. You're going to get attention from our YouTube.
Yeah.
So we like tried to really reverse engineer negotiating for jiu-jitsu, and I think a lot of people are pretty lazy at the business side of things.
Well, I think it doesn't matter how good a grappler you are. If you're not playing the game, those fight offers aren't going to come in. So
100%.
the way you guys have done the YouTube for all the boys, you know, some of them at the start were a little bit more awkward on camera, and now, you know, you can actually see their personality and stuff like that.
Well, just to create value, you gotta have value.
Mm.
If you're undefeated and have 300 Instagram followers, like, no person's going to invest in you, even from a sponsorship point of view, because it's like, why? What's the point? What do we gain? You know, you'd rather you'd use that money elsewhere. Like, your accomplishments in jiu-jitsu don't matter as much as you think they do.
Yeah. Any closing statements, mate?
Any closing statements? I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else we can touch on, eh?
Will we get a, the doco you guys did with Quintet Japan? Would there be anything similar potentially in the lead up to CJI2?
Oh, for sure. We'll try and do that for almost every team.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay,
like,
sick.
We want, that's like, so everything's about story. I remember Jimmy Pedro did it before Lex got super famous. Lex had an old podcast called, I can't remember what it was called, but he had Jimmy Pedro on there. I remember Jimmy Pedro talking about the growth of judo. He goes, all you need to do is create a story. He goes, you turn on TV and you watch an MMA fight, you don't know either of the guys. He goes, MMA's intrinsically exciting, but if you don't care. He goes, but if you know the story, it's why the Olympics is so special. It's like, you find yourself watching sports you don't care about because the media have played up a story about the athletes involved, you know something about them. So it's like, if we can create a story, that's what we sell. And that's what I think is lacking in a lot of the organizations today is, where's the story? Say like Kainan versus Nicky Rod. The story is somewhat inbuilt. It's an ADCC champ versus CJI champ, but still, like, that's quite a weak story. Whereas when we use real teams for the team event, they have a history, they have a legacy, and we can build a narrative around those teams. You know what I mean? The first event, the story around the event, and again, the story is what makes you care. The story around the event was it was a ADCC versus CJI. The story was the event. By choosing which event to watch, you were making a statement about whose side you were on. And it was quite easy for everyone to come to our side because we were only preaching athlete pay, charity, and the other side was making a litany of errors along the way that made themselves, alienated themselves. When it comes to teams events, you're going to find a team you want to support throughout the event. It might just be based on an athlete, but you're going to attach yourself to that team. The team's going to have a narrative. As the event progresses, you're going to be thinking back and forth, well, fuck, you might say Atos almost lost to 10th Planet.
Yeah.
And then the story unfolds over the course of the 2 days and the 8 teams. So it's like it has an inbuilt story. It has something for you to care about. A series of random super fights, it's hard to find something to care about as much. You know, like it would be sick if there was an MMA, if there was a UFC event where it was like, if the teams existed, you know what I mean? If there was like an American top team versus a city kickboxing main card, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. You know, people have tried to do that in MMA, but for jiu-jitsu, like that cult, American top team doesn't have a cult-like following like a Gracie Barra.
Yeah.
So it's like we have a slight advantage in jiu-jitsu of doing these things.
Yes.
But that's why CJI2 will be better than CJI1.
It almost sounds like that. Day 3 is better than day 2. Day 4 is better than day 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't have a bender throughout this entire one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, pretty healthy for me. I've probably got a couple of big benders left in me before I have to start training properly again. Which is very unfortunate.
Oh, lucky you're off to Miami.
Yeah, but again, hopefully only party if we win.
Yeah.
Depends who's there. Mom's easily twisted.
It is.
Not on the mounts, but in life.
Well, we can finish this up, mate. And all I'm going to say is today when we roll, I can feel in my loins that this will be the day I get you.
You will never get me.
Yeah, those days are done, aren't they?
Those days are long. Man, you're mentally broken. You're defeated. You've already lost before you step on the mats.
Why don't for the last 30 seconds, you can tell an embarrassing story or something, the dumbest thing that I've done that won't get me in too much trouble.
Oh, I mean, the two dumbest things that still stick out in my mind is Adam confusing Abu Dhabi and Dubai and thinking I was traveling to Abu Dhabi. And then the other one was, it wasn't Yosemite National Park. He thought it was Yosemite, like fucking Vegemite. That was the little moments like that. Adam, the geographer, Jones. But I mean, we're talking embarrassing shit lately. I mean, just you got a head tattoo. Try to avoid mirrors, man.
You guys ever wonder why I'm mean to you in the gym? This is why. All right. Thank you for coming on, bro. You piece of shit.